Hello Cancers and welcome. I hope you're well. My name is Ariane. You are on my channel, Attunement Serenity, and today we're doing a love reading for Cancer, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. Welcome Cancers. Hope you're well. Hope you're excited for this because I am. So I have been doing an entire zodiac series of love readings this month, okay, of October, and initially the idea was for Libra season, and it's now Scorpio season, but that's all right. Yeah, so I've been doing the whole zodiac series, and I've been doing it from the backwards order of the zodiac. So started with Pisces instead of Aries, and have been working my way up. So now I'm at Cancer, but I'm almost done because yeah. But I really do the types of readings that I feel called to do, and I've just been feeling called to take back up a zodiac series, and I'm really excited for that because I love doing like special readings for each zodiac sign. Genuinely, it's just that there were moments when I was like, oh, that's just not sustainable for me to like do 12 different videos, because that's a lot, and I like to go in depth with my readings. Like you'll see most of my readings are around 40-45 minutes because I like to go in depth and really take my time. So that's my style. If you like it, subscribe if you haven't already. But so if you want to watch your other signs, most of them will be up already, and I'll link the playlist where I have all of them down below in the description box of the video and in the comments, but maybe it's only going to be in the description box of the videos when you find this. But I can already tell you that after we've done this series, this love series, we're going to move on and do a new one. And this time I'm gonna go with the natural order of the zodiac, so starting with Aries and then Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, etc. And I'm going to pick a theme that is much more Scorpio-like because we are in Scorpio season now. And yeah, I don't know if I want to spoil it yet, so we'll see. Maybe I'll mention it at the end, but keep an eye out on my channel. But today we're doing a love reading for you. Okay, and I'm really curious about what's going to come through here, because a very different message has come through for every single sign, of course. But ever since like Scorpio season has started, or the signs that I will upload during Scorpio season, I've been recording them. Like the shift has been immediate, and the feeling of the entire reading and the type of messages that's come through, so much more scorpionic, so much more intense, so much more existential than what was coming through during Libra season, which is very, very interesting. So I'm curious to see where this one goes, but enough me talking about this, and let's actually get into your reading. We're going to start with this pre-pulled card, and I didn't look at the message behind it, so it's going to be a surprise for me too. I'm going to read what's behind this, and then we're going to pull more cards, okay? So look at your image, beautiful blue little butterfly. Maybe that's a sign for you. Let's see what's behind. Self-reflection. Give each other a bit of space. Trust in the fact that everything will work out for the best. Okay. Interesting. And I did see 333 while I was reading that. So there's an idea, and when I do these love readings, they're really for everyone. I don't necessarily like orient them only for singles or only for people in a relationship, because for me love reading can mean so many different things, and sometimes what comes through, it's about self-love, or it's about a love of friendship, you know. It's not necessarily like about your relationship type of stuff, right? That's very broad subject, and I like to keep it that way. But it does seem like you could be in a relationship with this card, and you need to give each other some space, maybe your friendship, whatever. So we're starting with this oracle cards. I'm actually doing it a bit differently from the other signs because I'm doing what I feel drawn to do. So you have number 18, Dear Spirit, bring a gentle touch. Yeah, once again, there's kind of a slow down and take things easy kind of vibe, right? Oh my god, that was so weird. That was like a weird shuffle on my part. Cards never come out that way for me. Okay, we're gonna trust that. I keep talking about how I'm doing things differently for this sign, so it's like maybe you need to do things differently. And what I was going to say with the 18 on the Deer Spirit is that really stood out to me. So there could be something about 18 years old. Maybe you're 18 years old. I mean, I don't know. Or maybe this is connected to something that happened to you at 18 years old. Even if it's not relationship stuff, think about the time when you were 18. Like, what happened? Was there a big life change? You know, what's something that happened that really shaped who you are today? Think about that. Or maybe what kind of choice did you make when you were 18 that kind of led you to, that shaped the life that you're living today? This card I really thought was going to come out because I saw it twice when I was pre-shuffling the deck. Okay. What else do Cancers need to know about their love life or about love in general? Yeah. See, that I saw this card earlier, but then it was reversed, but it needed to be upright. That's why it didn't come out. Okay, we're going to take these last two, and then that's going to be it. Oh, there's another one hiding behind. Of course. Okay. And then what's at the bottom? Okay, we have sometimes life stings, wasp spirit at the bottom, but in reverse. Which I think means this doesn't have to hurt. This doesn't have to be super complicated. Yes, I feel like something is happening or has happened recently that has been triggering to you, but you're actually being called to break a pattern. Yeah, it could be like your partner or someone you love has done something, and that in your mind you were like, oh my god, like that triggered you immediately because you were like, I've been in situations like this before, like it always ends up the same, it's gonna be a catastrophe and I know how it's gonna be, and then you self-sabotage to self-fulfill prophecy and continue the pattern that you've been in before, which is why this could be something about 18, like what happened when you were 18 years old, right? Yeah. But then it's like, it doesn't have to hurt, it doesn't have to be this complicated. And I already said, like, doing things differently. Wow, okay, love that. So much intuitive stuff coming out already. Like, to give one example, and I mean, it could be your situation, but not necessarily. But to give one example of what I'm trying to express, it could be that, like, you're in a relationship and then things are mostly good, or at least you love each other, you want to be together and all that stuff. Then something comes up, or then suddenly your partner is like, hey, like right now things feel a bit like weird, or I'm going through something personally and I feel like we should take a break to just kind of, you know, reevaluate certain things, even though I do love you, and then we'll see what happens. And then your nervous system is like, boom, fight or flight, like immediately, because you're like, holy shit, because maybe in the past you also dated someone that you love, and when they said that, it was, you believe them, that it was like, okay, let's genuinely reevaluate and see if we want to be together. And for you, it was obvious, like, it doesn't necessarily mean we're going to break up. But then when you came back together, you realized, like, oh, it was just an excuse for them to break up with me without having to confront the fact of actually saying to me in my face, we're breaking up. But they knew they wanted to break up right away. And that was the inevitable, like, truth of what was going to happen next. So then when this happens again, you're terrified as if they told you, I want to break up, because you're like, of course you're going to do that. And maybe you even accuse them of doing that. You're like, you want to break up with me, but you're not even telling me. And they're like, what? No, I genuinely just want to break, but you don't believe them because you're just so potentially traumatized from the past, right? Yeah. So that is like one example of like the kind of situation that could be playing out. And I'm really getting a feeling of like smooth sailing, and then bam, something happens. So I don't know what that is about. That's also something that just triggers you when you don't see something coming, when you think like, you're good, I can rest now, I can relax now, I am good, my relationship is good, and then something happens that makes your nervous system think, oh no, we're in danger, and then gets rolling and turning and running again. Yeah. Because we have, dear spirit, bring a gentle touch. Yeah, bring a gentle touch. It's like you, and that's where the Scorpio energy of the Scorpio season is coming through. It's like you're ready to go to war. You're ready to defend yourself. You're ready to be maybe so defensive that you're actually aggressive with this person, most likely verbally, I don't think physically, but or maybe you're so scared of losing them that you become so like possessive and intense and you actually scare them and they're like, what the hell? But you're doing it out of like reflex, right? Nervous system trigger. But at the same time, if you're generally hurting them or scaring them, it's not like an excuse. Like you need to take responsibility for like ways you may have hurt them with your actions and words. It does say bring a gentle touch. That's like you don't need to be aggressive. You don't need to force things out. Yeah, I'm seeing the Strength card in reverse, which is about trying to forcefully tame your primal animalistic side. But when you do that, you're just repressing it. You're not actually in harmony with those parts of yourself. Yeah. We have number 37, Lion Spirit, be generous of spirit. Yeah. We have Canary Spirit, number 12, sing your own song. Number 54, Skunk Spirit, know your worth. Number 26, Flamingo Spirit, embrace the in-between. Bee Spirit, number 7, sweet results await. And then Brown Bear Spirit, take time out, number 9 in reverse. And then also in reverse, number 34, Hummingbird Spirit, be here now. Yeah. You're acting without thinking because you're triggered. You're acting from a place of fear. And that's why these two cards, be here now and take time out, are in reverse. Because you're not doing any of that. You're not actually present in the moment. Like if you have, for example, a routine of meditating every day, it's like, no, that's gone to the curb. Or if you're still doing it, you're half doing it and it's not actually helping you. You don't want to take time out from your partner. Yeah, that could be where I was like, I channeled the like break situation, but it might not be exactly that. But bring a gentle touch and be generous of spirit. You could be very like protective of yourself and your energy, or you don't want to be generous anymore because you're very triggered about the idea that this person is going to take advantage of you, or you've given them so much and you feel they haven't given enough in return, so then you're resentful, so you don't want to be generous anymore. But it's like, actually, if you bring a gentle touch and be generous of spirit towards yourself first and then towards others, that's not actually going to be a problem. But overall, like, I can feel like this is so hard and like a crisis to you, but then a lot of beautiful cards are here. Yeah, okay, interesting. I want to read the Skunk Spirit, Know Your Worth. And fun fact, I take a lot of walks around my house because, you know, not let my body become a freaking vegetable with chronic pain kind of stuff. And a few days ago, maybe last week, it was late evening and I actually saw a skunk, like in real life. Thank God it was on the other side of the street, so I didn't get, and it ran away when I approached, so I wasn't scared that it was going to spray me, but I was like, oh, I don't think that's ever happened to me before. And I immediately thought of this card. I was like, interesting. Skunk Spirit, number 54, know your worth. What do you value? What do you believe in? Is your best, most authentic self on display? Skunk Spirit comes as a reminder that you can be proud of who you are and what you have accomplished. Know your worth. Not everyone will agree with you or share your values, but you can walk with your head high, knowing that when you express your integrity, others can feel your authenticity and will be inspired by it. Be who you are, and if your reputation precedes you, good. You have much to be proud of, and Skunk Spirit wants you to be your best self, the true you. Okay. I also feel that you may have a pattern, maybe not necessarily just in your love life, but in general, you have a pattern of kind of being like, respect is not owed, it's earned. And therefore, I don't really respect anyone who hasn't proved to me that they're worthy of that respect. Which is BS, by the way. Okay, like, not to call you out, but we're gonna get into it. Or like if someone is like being mean or being immature, you have this mindset of like, oh, I'm gonna dump myself down to their level and insult them back, because that's what they deserve, and they don't deserve me being smarter than them. And it's like, that pattern is not serving you at all. It's not serving anybody else. And actually, if you're capable of being gentle and generous and kind to someone who is hateful, you're the strong one. That is true strength. And that is admirable. That is what you will inspire people when you do that. You're not going to inspire people if you cut back every single time. If you're able to just listen to someone calling you out on stupid shit or on like lies and just be like, okay, well, I wish you the best either way, and you're genuine and not being sarcastic, people are going to be like, wow, this person is so above all of this. They're still able to see this person as a full-on human being and be kind to them because they probably understand that this person is going through shit. And even though like they don't owe them anything, they don't owe them a place in their life, like they're capable of not being mean to them back because they're so much better than them. That is actually what is inspiring. Not dumbing yourself down to their level. And kindness is a very important trait and lesson for the sign of Cancer. Valuing kindness, wanting to be as kind as possible, just seeing how important kindness is in the world, okay? And I'm a Cancer dominant, and that's definitely one of my highest values, and I feel like it's very devalued by society, or misunderstood, or just underestimated how powerful and important, also radical kindness can be. We're always just encouraged to not be kind to anyone who isn't attractive, either physically or else in society, or to just people who don't deserve it, or people who are like below us in social status, or whatever the hell. And it's like, no, it's actually revolutionary to be kind to those people still, because we consider them human beings. There could be a lesson like that you're meant to learn here as well. Because yes, if you spread negativity, like, you're gonna get that back. So you're thinking that you're just surrounded by fake bitches. Sorry, that's the term that came to my mind. But actually, it's like, it's because you're allowing yourself to be in that energy that you're attracting people like that continuously. It doesn't have to be like that. If you're like, why am I always surrounded by immature people? Well, are you making sure that your frequency is high enough that mature people can find you? Listen, I'm telling you like it is, Cancer. Exactly. The Empress in reverse. You're not in your Empress energy, and you're meant to be. Okay? Like, Let's pull more here. What does Cancer need to know? Death in reverse. Are you willing to change your ways? We keep talking about changing your ways. Then we have the card of transformation in reverse. Are you resisting the transformation in your life, Cancer? Oh my god. Look what came through. Strength in reverse. What did I say earlier? I was getting this vibe. Strength in reverse. I mean, come on now. And do you notice how right now we have 3 major arcanas, but they're all in reverse? Oh, well, this one wanted to be upright, but it's not major arcana. Like, that's very, very meaningful here. These are so intense. Okay. These cards really are like, I'm here. The Emperor. Upright. Three of Wands in reverse. Yeah, I feel like you're like, I mean, no, I don't want to say it like that, but I feel like you're often, I just keep channeling a way to say it that just doesn't sound great. Knight of Wands in reverse. So I don't want to say it, but it's just the way that's coming through to me. It could be something that your partner has criticized in you. The Tower in reverse. They could have told you that you're like a very negative person, or that you complain a lot. Yeah, that could be the thing that they've told you, and that was really triggering. Which, understandably, I wouldn't want to be told that, even if that was true. 10 of Swords in reverse at the bottom. But the thing is, okay, I do want to say, like, and you may already know this, that it is true that the human brain is kind of made to focus more and remember more the times when things went wrong rather than the times that things went right. And that is like a very old like coping mechanism, survival mechanism for our brains, right? Because if we were like in I don't know, like caveman era, we would use a certain cave to like go back home and sleep, but then one night there was like a predator there. We needed to remember there could be a predator there that one night, even though so many other nights there was nothing going on, so that we wouldn't go back because it could be dangerous. You see where I'm going with this? So to a certain point, like yes, and humans can be it's so easy for us to be pessimistic or cynical, but it's doesn't necessarily serve us in this day and age where most of us don't need to worry about survival anymore, at least not in the way that we used to, right? Oh. Okay. Yeah, this reading is a bit like calling you out, so, you know, if you're not, I mean, at this point I think you would have clicked off already. Like, if this message bothers you, triggers you, you know, first of all, don't hate the messenger. If you really like this triggers me too much, I'm not ready to hear all of this, maybe click off the reading. That's totally something you can do. At the same time, I think the universe wants you to hear this message, and I think the way I channel when I do my readings is that when something more challenging comes through for the person watching, I always mean my readings to be found by the people who are ready to hear it, even if it may be uncomfortable, right? So I trust that always. Because I'm not enabling any shit. Yes, I love being kind and I love delivering good news when that's what comes through in the reading. But when it's not what comes through in the reading, like, I'm gonna say it like it is, right? Okay, because what I was also getting is, with these cards here, is that the thing is, you complain a lot about the kind of people that you attract without wanting to reevaluate yourself and ask yourself, why do I attract all these kinds of people? Why do I emit the frequency that attracts these kinds of people to me? It means that I have a little bit of that in myself, or that subconsciously that's the kind of person I want to attract, to prove something to myself, or to like enable a certain pattern that I'm subconsciously always trying to recreate. And what I'm getting, yeah, I'm getting a lot of intuitive messages, and I'm getting that in your past, it could be the 18 thing, I swear, but it could be something else. It could have been younger. It could even have been in your childhood from one of your parents. Okay, it doesn't matter who it was with this kind of pattern, but you have a pattern where one day when you were very young or younger, you had someone who said to you that they were better than you, that they were smarter than you, that they were above you, that they understood things that you didn't, and that's why they didn't want to be friends with you, or they didn't want to be around you, or they didn't want to talk with you, or that's why in an argument they were always right and you had to just shut up and listen in a very condescending way, right? And that was really painful to you because, of course, because that's just shitty to be told that. And the message you received is that, like, I'm not good enough, and also I'm not smart enough. So you subconsciously just led your life in trying to prove that wrong all the time to everyone, everywhere, all the time. And what has happened is that you attract people who you perceive to be dumb or inferior to you, so that you can prove to them, you can start relationships with them and prove to them, look, I'm so much smarter than you, so shut up. Listen to me. I'm the one who's right here. I'm more emotionally intelligent than you. I understand myself more than you. So stop trying to pretend. And do you see where this has gone? You're recreating the same pattern, but this time you're the one in power, so that you don't suffer. But you're still in the same pattern of the same wound, and you're never healing. There doesn't need to be this kind of power dynamic, or this kind of domination and submissiveness, not sexually, because that's very different, in relationships. Like, you don't need to date someone who's like either inferior or superior to you. It doesn't have to be about that. And I think when you were young, when this thing happened to you, that's what you understood. I can either date people who, or maybe even in your friendships, I can either date people who will be smarter than me and put me in my place, and I have to listen to them all the time and let them guide me because they know better than me. Or I can be the one who knows better and make sure I'm seeking people who are quote unquote below me. And you thought subconsciously those were your two options. And obviously you went for the one where you were better than everyone else. So you constantly think you're better than everyone else because there's this inner child within you that thinks everyone is better than you and is suffering because of that. And you're not going to get yourself out of all of these patterns until you heal that. And that's why you haven't had harmonious relationships. If you're like, I always attract dumbass, I always attract immature people, I always attract narcissists. Well, love, at one point in your life, you have to be like, I'm the common denominator in all of these situations. I need to look at me and do my inner work. Okay, that's just the plain old truth. Okay, really. Because you're not in your Empress energy. You're not empowering yourself. You're not being kind and gentle and strong at the same time, which is what the Empress is about. Okay, that's what you're meant to be, especially as a Cancer. Being in this divine feminine energy. And I think, yeah, some of you, I'm getting most of you here don't have kids. Okay, and if you do, this message, what I'm going to say does not apply to you, but some of you have been looking, you do want kids, and it's either that you haven't found the right partner to have kids with, or maybe you had some fertility issues. I don't know what, there's just life has just come in the way that you haven't been able to have kids, and this is why. Because the universe is like, no, we're not going to let you have kids while you're still acting out this pattern from your childhood, because this is going to be really harmful to your kids. So deal with your shit, and then after that, it's going to be much easier for you to just have healthier relationships, because you're going to recreate the thing where you're always fighting with the child's other parent and putting them down, and then maybe putting down the child too. You don't want to carry on that pain, do you? Think about, there's a need to be here with the pain that has happened to you in your past. This wound, wherever it's from, whenever it happened, you need to sit with it. And if you can do that with a professional, like a therapist, a coach, even if you can't access a professional like this, someone who like is genuinely loving of you feel safe with, great. You can do it alone too, but it can be a bit intense. You just need to learn to sit with the pain and just let yourself feel it. Because when this happened, it was so painful, it was so triggering, it was so like, I think you dissociated. I think you had like an out-of-body experience. Because your body couldn't, your spiritual body as well just couldn't handle all of that at once, that trauma. And was like, nope. And there was like an immediate compulsive reaction of like, let's dissociate, let's detach from ourselves so that we don't have to feel this pain. And you've never allowed yourself to fully feel that pain, and you've forgotten it now, which is why you couldn't understand that you were in the same pattern. So think about little you, younger you who had to go through this. Think about how much it hurt, how shitty it was, how unfair it was, how mean this person was to you, how condescending, all those things, right? Truly think about it and feel in your body for a minute or two. Let yourself cry if that happens. And now think about the fact, and then you can pause the video if you want. And then when you are able to calm down a bit and come back, I'm not telling you like go cry for like 30 minutes. It doesn't have to be that intense right now. Okay, and now face the fact that you've been putting other people through that same pain. Yeah, that hurts, right? Yeah. But pain teaches us lessons. And that's why you want to get out of this pattern. If you don't want to get out of this pattern, you're not in the right place. Leave the video. If you're like, oh, I kind of dread this, but yeah, I know I have to do it, you're in the perfect place. Okay? You're in the perfect place. That's part of my job. That's part of why I do what I do. Is to help people actually heal stuff. And hear the stuff that they need to hear, not necessarily the stuff that they want to hear. And this is the truth of what you need to hear right now. You need to reconnect to yourself. Oh, and that's why we have Canary Spirit. Canary Spirit. Sing your own song, and then Seven of Pentacles. Could be literal about the singing, but there's something about, like, you need to reconnect to a life that's actually more authentic to you. I don't think it's only your relationships or your love life that's actually suffering. I think that you've made maybe choices in your life that weren't authentic to you because you were so disconnected from yourself. Just a lot of inner child healing could be helpful for you. Reconnecting to what actually makes you happy, makes you joyful, your favorite hobbies. If you're like, if I'm telling you this and you're like, I don't have hobbies, I don't know what I like, think about what you liked as a child. Start with that, okay? Do it again, see if it brings you joy still. And if yes, keep doing it. And if no, you're probably going to find something else through doing that, okay? Yeah, resisting. I love that the Strength in reverse even came on the Lion card. I cannot believe I predicted that. Sometimes I get like vibes without getting the actual card afterwards. Literally. Strength card, and specifically in reverse. And if you've been feeling in the past, I'm getting some of you in the past few years, you've been feeling like you hate Scorpio season because it's really hard. And that's exactly why. It's because Scorpio season is about integrating our shadow side, healing, transformation, letting the parts of ourselves that need to die, die. And you've been resisting that so fucking strongly and being like, nope, I'm not facing any of that. And resistance is actually the most painful part. When you actually surrender to the transformation, yes, it's extremely cathartic. It's also painful in a way, but it's like you feel like you're in the right place and you have hope for the future. I'm actually going to put this upward to help you with this energy. Wow. Okay. So I actually want to read from the booklet as well. I want to read the Empress in reverse, and maybe also the Seven of Pentacles, I'm not sure. The Empress in reverse. This placement may indicate indecisiveness, a blockage of ideas, or an overall sense of limbo in which you are searching to find a solution to a problem. Perhaps there's a need for deeper introspection in order to reveal the true priorities of your heart. What other avenues of self-expression have you been wishing to pursue? Weigh out your options and feel how they each resonate within your vibrational field to trust your intuition. What did I say? Oh my god. I feel that's exactly what I just said. Love that confirmation for you. Okay, and I'm going to read Seven of Pentacles. The Seven of Pentacles is a card of hard-earned rewards and the refinement of our deepest purpose. After all of your work and perseverance, you are able to gauge how you would like to invest your time and energy as you realize the importance of the momentum of your success. If you feel as though you have yet to reap the rewards, now is not the time to give up. Perhaps you've learned more than you thought possible along the way and have shifted your priorities unexpectedly. It could simply be a matter of gaining a new perspective and envisioning your path from a more spiritual, fulfilling position. Personal affluence and success may only take you so far, but if you source your work from the seed of your soul, your creations will not only be sustainable and authentic, they will raise the vibration of the collective whole. Yes, and I feel this is also talking about if you're thinking about switching some things and you're like, oh no, again, it's going to take so long. It's like, it might not, but it's going to be really self-fulfilling in the process, and that's going to be enough. So don't use that as an excuse to not do stuff that makes you happy. Okay, so what's some advice for you about that before we go on to the other side of the tarot here? What's some advice for Cancers? What's some advice? I'm not sure if I'm going to take the reversal, but okay. Some advice for Cancers about all of this. Loving messages for Cancer. Yeah. I think that the cards are only in reverse because you're not in that energy just yet. You haven't tapped into it just yet, but it's accessible to you. At the bottom we have Jupiter and Aquarius innovation. Number 11, of course, because Aquarius is the 11th sign of the zodiac, so each card that has Aquarius on it, and this deck will have 11 on it. It's not just an angel number. We have Moon and Taurus exaltation. Yes. And Taurus is associated with the Empress, so kind of Empress energy. And Moon is like feminine. And then Jupiter and Sagittarius principle. Yes. So Moon and Taurus, very much about sensory joy and pleasures in your life. And also about connecting to your feminine side. So be present. And how can you incorporate more fun in your life? Taurus is also a very artistic sign, so there could be something artistic going on here. Artistic self-expression, creating art, appreciating the beauty in life, which can both be things like, I love how tasty this raspberry is that comes from the earth, or this flower is so beautiful, and also like, I bought this brand t-shirt and I actually indulged in it and I freaking love it. Or, you know, I bought this really, I bought a higher quality wine than usual and I can taste the difference and I'm really savoring it. Or I bought this bath bomb or whatever it is, right? Taurus is really about sensory pleasures, sensory joys. So how can you indulge in that more and actually be present in your body to fully savor and enjoy that experience? Then Jupiter in Sagittarius. If you've been thinking about going back to school, this could be a sign, because Sagittarius is about, and Jupiter, okay, Jupiter is in domicile in Sagittarius, is about the rules, higher education. With the sun and the moon on the card here, it also rules like religious beliefs, which is why you have this, it looks like the Pope's hat. Sorry, I know that's not the right word, but I don't know the right word. The sun and the moon, I feel like this is also speaking of duality, of having a gray area in your belief system. Like thinking about, what do you actually value for yourself, for the people around you, for society? What are your religious and spiritual beliefs? Think about all of that. Because it could be that you've either kind of stopped caring about that and think it's not really important to you, or it could be that you've just been really influenced by someone else and you just, I don't know, follow the religion of your parents because that's just naturally what you were brought up with. But maybe it's like, hey, like revisit that a bit to really see if that like is who you want to be right now. And maybe you don't even need to change religion or anything like that, but it's like, make it, personalize it. Personalize how you view your relationship with God or whatever, right? That was just an example. And on this side here, the Emperor, Knight of Wands in reverse, Three of Wands in reverse, the Tower in reverse. Now, with the Ten of Swords in reverse at the bottom of the deck here, I definitely see like you don't have to be suffering all the time. You don't have to stay in this pain, which is we talked about earlier as well. I actually want to read the message from the Emperor because I feel like, obviously I know what the Emperor card means, but I feel like he wants to like speaks to you because he always looks like he wants to look through your soul or something. Okay. The Emperor embodies a deep inner fortitude that reflects a personal code of conduct and strength. However, his greatest power emerges and transmutes through the joining of his heart and intellect. This is a creative energy that helps us each nurture and sustain more balance in our life. One that sees the brilliant design of interconnection, the importance of each stone in our greater foundation, and the merging of the spiritual and psychological realms. This gentle strength brings harmony and peace to where there is conflict and separation in our world, which defines true leadership and innovation. We literally talk about gray area and then separation and then innovation. We literally talked about that. And then lastly, the Emperor encourages you to cultivate and build from the root of this power, galvanizing directly from the seeds of your heart. Yeah. If you feel, and I'm saying this because I'm getting some of you are into that stuff, and obviously it's regardless of gender, but if you feel like you've been attracting partners who have like a distorted or unhealthy, toxic, divine, masculine energy, and it's not divine masculine energy, you want to attract divine masculine energy and you haven't been able to do that, it's because you weren't in your divine feminine either. And when you fix that stuff, you're going to naturally attract people who are like the Emperor upright, which is a healthy, divine masculine energy. Yeah. We're gonna pull for this. It's funny, I'm not getting too many messages from the other cards right now. Maybe they don't need to have other specific messages, but what else? I'm gonna pull some of your last cards. What else does Cancer need to know? I'm gonna take this one and this one. Yeah, you feel like you don't have a choice, that's for sure. We have Mercury and Sagittarius, discovery, again, Sagittarius. We have Mars and Libra in reverse, choice. Yeah, you feel like you've been powerless, you feel like you haven't had the choice. And we also had indecisiveness when we read the Empress in reverse. Maybe if you've been struggling with being indecisive, that's not just a natural trait for you. It's a sign that something's up. Or that you don't trust yourself making decisions, or you don't feel like you have a choice, or it could be a bunch of things, but it's not just like natural. So I encourage you to question that. And then we have the Sun in Pisces vision. Yeah, what is your vision? What is your vision for you, for your relationships, for your life, and for the world? There's a need, and Pisces is the last sign of the zodiac. It's a very spiritual sign. So what is like, you need a sense of deeper purpose behind the things you do in your life, and not just, oh, logically it makes sense, so I'm just going to do that. Because we saw that you've probably done that in the past, and that didn't necessarily bring you in a happy place, or a place that feels authentic to you. Okay, I'm going to read from the Sun in Pisces vision card. When this card is selected, the questioner, meaning you, may be dreaming of escape in the form of a long-distance voyage or other get away from it all activity. This could be why we got all the Sagittarius cards. The vision card may also indicate a new interest and very often some ability in psychology and or psychic research. It suggests that at some time in the future, the person asking the question may be involved with a large institution, and that service to others will provide the great satisfaction, recognition, and fulfillment. Right, so how can you be of service in a way that feels authentic and fulfilling for your own personal quest as well? And we did get traveling. I did mention higher education. So maybe you're going back to school, but maybe you're actually like working for like a college or something, or eventually. And we also got religion, so maybe you want to integrate some kind of church or a religious organization and become some kind of priest, or I don't know, whatever. There's so many options and so many religions and things like that, right? But it could be something like that. Something about community, about institutions. Something about being in a space where other people have a similar vision as yours and that supports your own personal path. Instead of being around people that you feel don't understand you or aren't even smart enough to understand these types of things, right? Okay, Cancer, I'm going to stop here for you. I hope you've enjoyed, even though it was a more difficult message. I hope this was insightful. If it was, you can let me know by liking the video. You can leave me a comment if you'd like to connect with me. I always love doing that. If you'd like to see more from me, you can subscribe to the channel. Okay, and if you do, if you haven't already, if you already have, thank you. I'm glad you're here. Glad you're enjoying yourself here. If you do subscribe to my channel, there's an even higher likelihood that my future videos will be for you, because you're going to be part of my energetic collective that I always tap into when I do these types of readings. So exciting, right? And I'm going to tell you that next month we're doing shadow readings for the signs, and I almost feel like this was a shadow reading for you. We're going to get even deeper. It might be something similar or completely different that comes through, but that's the theme we're going to get into after I finish this series of love readings. So that's really exciting. You're the first one to know. Enjoy that. And if you'd like to thank me monetarily, tip me, or donate to the channel, there's a link for that down below. If you'd like to work with me privately, more personally, I am a tarot reader, so I do tarot readings a bit like this. I do channeled readings. I do from either like spirit guides, deceased people, or you know, just whatever comes through from the universe, sometimes past lives, stuff like that. More details down below. I'm also a professional astrologer, so I do astrology readings, and I'm also a psychosynthesis life coach, so I do coaching. You can book all those things and get more information at the link down below, so check that out if you're interested. But thank you for spending your time with me here. I wish you the best, okay? Sending you so much love. Have a great day or night, and I will see you next time, Cancer. Bye! Take care.